Telecast is available on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Well, they've been standing in line by the hundreds by hours to see the home conference opener, the Hawks against the Sooners. ESPN College Basketball, Big Monday, presented by Bud Light. It's the Oklahoma Sooners taking on the number 3 Kansas Jayhawks from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Fran Frischella and Holly Rowe, and welcome to our first Big Monday presentation. It's the home conference opener for the Jayhawks, and my question to Fran Frischella, what makes you like this team so much? Why do you think they're so good?
3 things, Ron. They're deep, experienced, and they're balanced. Think about this. When Brandon Rush had 19 against Nebraska on Saturday night, he became the 7th different man to lead the Jayhawks in scoring in the last 8 games. Great balance.
Take us through the Star Watch, because actually tonight it is incumbent upon one of 2 native Oklahomans to lead their team if they're going to come up victorious.
You're absolutely right. For the Sooners, when you talk about some of the best freshmen in the country, Jeff Capel has Blake Griffin. He's been terrific. And Darnell Jackson, who came here lightly recruited, but has become Bill Self's most improved Jayhawk this season.
Here are the starting lineups. First of all, for the homestanding Kansas Jayhawks. 3-guard set. It'll be Russell Robinson, Mario Chalmers, and Brandon Rush. Darrell Arthur and Darnell Jackson inside. And for the Sooners, also 3 guards. Crocker, Godbold, and Austin Johnson. Austin has been terrific on the road this year. Blake Johnson, the precocious one Fran just talked about, and Longer, who has improved a lot this year. The head coach, Jeff Capel, 2nd year from Virginia Commonwealth by way of Duke University. And on the tip, it's going to be Darnell Jackson, who will get the ball and jam it home for an early 2-point lead.
He has become the Jayhawks' spiritual leader because of all the tragedy he's been through, and he's stepping up big.
Blake Griffin inside, couldn't get it. Longer gets the rebound, and he was fouled. And it's going to be Arthur who will pick up the initial foul.
Right off the tip. Keep your eye on 32, Darnell Jackson. He's dropped 20 pounds. Made him quicker, stronger.
Arthur with the foul. So the inbounds pass at Oklahoma. On offense, actually for the first time tonight. What do they have to do, Fran, against this very active, trapping KU defense?
Well, they've got to take care of the ball. That's one thing.
Johnson will knock it out of bounds. It will be Kansas basketball with 31 seconds showing on the shot clock at a very fast pace to open this ball game.
What makes Kansas so difficult to play against is their quickness, strength on the defensive end, inside and out.
Russell Robinson, he's a senior. And he is the guy who is really the floor leader. There are so many, but he's the guy, heart and soul. Rush off the mark on his initial 3-pointer of the evening. And there you see the high rebound by Blake Griffin. Johnson, a double on him. Crocker, way outside, in and out, unlucky. Arthur rebounds. KU will push it. Almost stolen by Crocker. Chalmers, back out on the wing. Rush for 3.
Well, Bill Self doesn't have to tell Brandon Rush to be more aggressive offensively. He got the message Saturday night at Nebraska.
It seems as though every time that Bill Self tells his outstanding guard to step it up, he does.
Mario Chalmers, beautiful penetrate and kick. This team can hurt you inside and out. Their guards are tremendous at getting a piece of the paint.
Godbold with the inbounds pass, gets it over to Griffin, and then he will get it in turnover to Austin Johnson. Austin, by way of Amarillo, played at Paladura High School there.
Remember, Ron, Rush and Chalmers, they average a steal between them every 9 trips down the floor.
Longer. Reverses. Short. Blocked. Arthur got a piece of that one.
And here's the dilemma, Ron. They're so good at pressuring the ball on the outside, but when you get it near the lane, they're one of the best shot blocking teams in the country.
Also, the thing that head coach Bill Self has to work with, if he wants to put freshman Cole Aldrich into the equation, they literally have 20 inside fouls to give, Fred.
That's exactly right. They utilize that against Alex Maric on Saturday night. Same thing with Griffin, Ron.
Explain this as far as what Bill Self is doing this year. We saw it on Saturday evening up in Lincoln, and that is really added pressure early, trying to make it a quick run of the Jayhawks.
And what they'll do with Blake Griffin is they'll keep him active on both ends of the floor, make him run around. Another steal.
Chalmers fouled by Crocker.
Unbelievable hands, Ron. Mario Chalmers, take a look at this now. Leads the Big 12 in steals. There's the poke away. And now he's off to the races. One of the best defensive guards in college basketball. Chalmers and Robinson tonight. Keep your eye on this. Quick hands, great anticipation. Also, when Robinson pressures the ball, it makes it easy for Chalmers to play free safety.
So a 7-0 start for the Kansas Jayhawks. This is Johnson. Trying to settle his ball club, get him to set into the half court, and come up with their first hoop of the night. We played 2.5 minutes. That has not even come close to happening yet. Ball stolen, Arthur, but it's taken away right back by Blake Griffin. Crocker, strong to the hoop, high off the glass. Longer comes down to the rebound, and it's stolen by Jackson. Russell Robinson. Rush going to take it to the hoop, and he was fouled on the way to the basket, and that is foul number 2 on Crocker.
You know what you like about that? The way Rush has been shooting the ball that time, there was a fast closeout, and he took it right to the rim.
So Arthur goes to the bench for a quick breather. Leary checks into the lineup as Crocker will sit down.
What's interesting is Jeff Capel only played 7 players on Saturday, and Omar O'Leary has played very little in the last 5 games. He's going to lengthen his bench tonight.
Arthur goes out. Sasha Khan checks in. Jackson, 18, switches it. Now, the point I was going to make, and we talked about it on Saturday evening, that's a place that people in the past have left him alone.
Yes.
You can't do that anymore, can you?
No, you can't. He's improved because of his work with Danny Manning. Inside, outside.
Longer scores the first hoop of the night at the 16:35 mark for the Oklahoma Sooners. Quickly at the other end, Sasha Khan puts it up. Not there. Jackson.
Yep. I told you, Ron, he's become the spiritual leader because of the tragedy in his family, losing his grandmother, his mom to a car accident. She's okay now. The fans love him.
Sharon Collins prepares to check into the lineup. Against Khan. Khan shut off the baseline, picked up the dribble, pass, tried to get it through a couple of bodies, and knocked out of bounds last by Oklahoma. Timeout on the floor, 15:53 remaining in his opening half. 11-2 Jayhawks.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming. And in part by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Just under 16 minutes to play first half, 11-2 Kansas. And let's go over to the third member of our broadcast team. Here is Holly Rowe. Holly.
Thanks, Ron. You know, we talked in the earlier part of the show about how deep this Kansas team is. Well, Bill Self says, hey, we actually have 7 starters. We're so deep. In fact, they're so deep, even the fans can't decide who's their favorite Jayhawk.
My favorite Jayhawk, it has to be, oh my God, there's so many of them. It has to be Darnell Jackson.
I think that we like Mario Chalmers. Do you like Mario Chalmers, Tiger?
Brandon Rush.
Sasha Khan.
Drill Arthur, I love the alley-oop.
I'm a big fan of Sasha Khan.
Mario Chalmers is always my favorite.
I like Sharon Collins.
Sharon. Definitely Sharon.
Brandon Rush, and I like Russell Robinson because he's just such a great all-around player for the team.
It's just really amazing to watch the whole team play as a whole. Their passing is like mind-boggling.
And guys, Russell Robinson, their senior guard, said the reason he thinks they're undefeated is because they're really just one group of brothers with all these high-profile guys. He says there are no egos. We talk in the locker room about everybody scoring and everybody contributing. And Darnell Jackson added, hey, we just love each other, and they're sure playing like it.
Okay, Holly, thanks very much. Well done. Oh, nice move by the freshman. Griffin shot him up a little bit short on the follow. Godbold too hard. And Jackson battles for the rebound and takes it away. Sharon Collins into the ball game. Makes the cross-court pass. Russell Robinson for 3. Not there. Tipped. Taken away by Austin Johnson. And down hard. I mean hard. Blake Griffin. And he is holding his knee.
That's interesting, Ron, because Jeff Capel told us he's been playing with a very sore shoulder. And now the knee. You see how gingerly he's handling that.
You can see as he comes down awkwardly on that leg. Alex Brown, the trainer for the last 21 years for the Oklahoma Sooners, out there with him, and they're going to help him off the floor. And his rankings in the Big 12 off to a rapid start. We talked about what a precocious young man he is off the top of the telecast, and obviously we certainly hope that that is nothing serious and that he is back very quickly. By the way, the shooting in this one so far, Kansas 4 of 6 at the break. 1 of 2 from 3, and Oklahoma 1 of 6.
Everything Oklahoma does early in this game has been challenged inside, particularly.
Russell Robinson called for the foul, his first.
One thing that really hurts Oklahoma tonight is they've lost Keith Clark, academically ineligible for the second semester. Ron, this was the most physical front court in the league until they lost Clark, and now Griffin out.
Ball goes to Longer. Well, they move him back inside. With Griffin on the sideline, he does not command as much respect. Shot off the front iron, not there, tipped around. Here comes Brandon Rush.
Kansas right now is playing a man and a half on Longer inside. A lot of attention.
Chalmers passed up the 3. Collins, a double on him, back over to Chalmers. And that's going to be a foul on Taylor Griffin. The older brother of Blake. Both played in Oklahoma City Christian school.
Ron, one of the things Kansas will do tonight is they will get their big people, the Griffins and Longar, out on the floor defending pick and roll, not only defensively, but also to tire them out on the offensive end.
Lob pass to Arthur, stolen by Crocker. Godbold, I take that back. Nice defensive play right there, and well schooled by the Sooners. This is Taylor.
Right now they have 2 offensive weapons out there, and it's not Austin Johnson.
That's going to be the second quick foul on Taylor Griffin. Moments ago, younger brother Blake Griffin had to be helped off the floor, and they, as you can see, are going to take him to the locker room and take a closer look at that knee. Wow.
Well, his brother has 2. They have to leave him on the floor. And Kansas can now exploit that inside, but they go 2-3 zone.
Arthur almost lost it. Kahn comes away with it. 11-2 our score. Skip pass, rush.
From Mario Chalmers, maybe the most complete Jayhawk this season.
He's got 2 assists on 2 3-pointers by Rush already in this ball game.
See, they will really shadow Longer with a second defender any chance they can.
Taylor Griffin not there. Kahn backs up, tries to knock it away from Longer, and Longer will score it.
Longer is one of the more improved players in the Big 12.
And Longer is going to be called for the foul.
Take a look at this ball movement, Ron. Everybody touches the ball seemingly on this possession. And here's the skip pass. Brandon Rush, a career 44% from behind the arc.
Gets the two-pointer. We were checking to see how many team fouls that was in Oklahoma. Besides the fact that they're down 16-4, that is 5 team fouls against the Sooners in the early going.
They are a very, very short-handed team right now.
Longer just inside the three-point line. Chalmers will rebound. If it's 1 and out, and Jeff Capel looked up, that's not what he was looking for offensively. 2 of 13 shooting for the Sooners right now.
And he doesn't really have any other weapons out there besides Crocker.
Arthur reverses the turnaround and shows the touch that a 6'11 guy can have.
15 NBA scouts tonight. I watched him last night in practice. I don't know there's a big man in the country that runs the floor like Arthur.
This is Crocker against Rush. Godbold not there. Longer tries to corral it. Godbold gets it, throws it away. Rush against Johnson. Alley-oop, a little too high, taken away by Taylor Griffin.
Well, Bill Self didn't like that play, but you have to love the unselfishness.
Well, Godbold just a little too hard, unlucky on the shot. And Bill Self is up saying go. Don't take your time getting back down the floor. Shot too hard off the glass, but Rush will go to the line. And as we take a timeout, one more look at Darrell Arthur working inside as a standing ovation from the partisans here at Alice Fieldhouse.
It's not just a game, got so much more to gain. Push it, push it, push it. Give it
15-4 our score. This week will definitely be a week of impact to the ESPN family of networks. A chance to see 10 of the top 16 teams in Premier Conference action. Wednesday, you'll get to see unbeaten top-ranked North Carolina, and also on ESPN2, Bob Knight goes for number 900 against the 9th-ranked Aggies of Texas A&M. And friend, we're talking about some of the best, or the people we think are the best as far as this conference is concerned. To me, Texas A&M is the deepest and best big man team in the Big 12, but they're under the radar right now.
Quietest 15-1 team in the country. They out-rebound teams by over 11 a game, and Dominique Kirk has done a terrific job of taking care of the ball, and he had big shoes to fill when A.C. Law left for the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, I can tell you right now, the Aggie faithful are extremely pleased with what they're seeing. And of course, the young man who is leading them played right here in this arena, Allen Fieldhouse, along with Danny Manning. He graduated in '87, the year before the 20th anniversary years ago of the win over Oklahoma for the national championship.
Well, Mark Turgeon won't come back to Allen Fieldhouse till next season. I'm not sure it'll be as friendly a reception as it used to be.
Yeah, that's for sure. Shooting in the ball game, here are the numbers. Oklahoma 2 of 15, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. And KU 7 of 10. They are 2 of 4 from beyond the arc.
Ron, when you watch Kansas defensively, they challenge everything. They challenge passing lanes, they challenge shots, and they challenge you with the block shot around the rim. 16-point lead. KU
and longer. With a jump hook high off the glass, he's got 6 points, all 6.
He's the main threat now, especially with Crocker on the bench with 3.
Sharon Collins tried to pump it up, could not, and an offensive foul. First personal foul on Sharon Collins.
Longer, a young man that came from Sudan by way of Rochester, Minnesota. One of the more improved players in the Big 12. We've watched him grow up, Ron, through 4 years, and very effective inside. Actually starting to show a little 15-foot range as well.
You know, one of the things that has really helped him as a young freshman, the name of Blake Griffin, going up against a talented young fellow like that every day. And if you just joined us and wonder why Griffin is not on the floor, an injury to his knee just a few minutes ago, and he had to hobble off to the locker room. We'll get a report as soon as we can, as the three-pointer by Godbold is good. Arthur rebounds. Collins for 3.
We mentioned that Collins shot a couple bricks on Saturday night up at Nebraska. But the young man who missed 6 games with a stress fracture just starting to round into form.
Friendly ask it. 23-9. The score right now. Alley-oop. Austin Johnson, who I said has been very good on the road, gets the 2 points.
He came in shooting 9 of 14 from 3 beyond the arc.
Chad Davis into the lineup, number 34, a freshman out of Elk City, Oklahoma.
Little set play lob right here for the point guard. Kansas normally won't give up that back screen, but excellent execution.
By the way, Blake Griffin was player of the year in Oklahoma high school basketball. Kate Davis was the second point getter. Rush along the baseline. Pulls up from 18 feet. Not there. And Arthur will hustle for the rebound. Blocked by Johnson. And Austin Johnson will come away with it. They got numbers. Godbold for 3.
The senior from Oklahoma City, always reliable. Good defender, good open shooter.
Tipped by Longer, but it goes back to Robinson. I was about to ask you just before that steal a moment ago, if you're Jeff Capel, what do you tell your ball club when you got this kind of deficit? But they've answered it.
That's right. This is about mental toughness right now. Jeff Capel, the former Duke Blue Devil.
Holly Road, you have an update on the injured Blake Griffin.
Well, I just talked to their head athletic trainer, Alex Brown, and guys, he said right now it looks like it is not his ACL, which is great news. I think it's just a sprained left knee. No word yet on whether he'll return.
Okay, right now, Holly, he's walking into the arena. They do have an ice pack on the knee as the three-pointer is off the mark by Cade Davis. And at least the youngster is able to come back in and watch the contest, but he is not healthy enough to play.
Right now for Jeff Capel with a shorthanded team, this is about mental toughness.
Well, the difficult thing, the disappointment is for the Oklahoma team. They have worked so hard, and he has become such an integral part of what they're doing. And also, you want the fans around the country to see this young man 100%. Because, folks, he can play the game of basketball in a tremendously high fashion. We just hope it is so serious that we don't have to worry about surgery. Hey, here's Blake Griffin at the Slam Fest of the 27th McDonald's All-American Week, going up against Mr. Beasley, who was up at Kansas State. His second shot was less than impressive on the dunk, but it was just enough to beat Beasley and win the slam dunk competition.
And when you talk Oklahoma basketball, this is the highest rated recruit since Wayman Tisdale back over 25 years ago, so that's pretty tall order.
.14, 8.5 minutes to play, first half. Strong to the hoop, blocked by Klein. Davis took it up. Three-pointer at the other end. Rush, not there. Longer with the rebound, and he's got Johnson back down court, but they could not get the ball to him. Griffin. Not there. Tipped by Davis. And it comes down to Sharon Collins. Robinson inside to Kahn. Working against Longer. Kisses it off the glass a little too hard. And that's Cade Davis rebounding.
You know what you like there with Griffin on the bench? Blake Griffin, you want to get Longer in some sort of foul trouble.
Well, they're doubling on him in a hurry. Puts it on the floor, forced out of bounds, and Darnell Jackson will pick up the foul. So 7:35 left until halftime. Kansas 25-14 as Blake Griffin sits on the sideline in ice.
You have to be here.
I was going to be asked to score a lot more. He said, I've never worked so hard. He said even over the Christmas break, he did extra sprints, extra running after practice because he knew that he was someone the team would have to rely on. And guys, he's the leading scorer on this Jayhawks squad.
You know, Holly, you are so right on with all of that. I visited with Danny Manning when our crew was in town to do a football game with Kansas and Nebraska. And it was a situation where Danny Manning says, you know, the young man has no idea how good he could be and also what a scorer he could be. And I said, can you really teach that? And he said, you bet I can. And he said, he'll wind up being an outstanding scorer in a game of basketball, this level or the next. Collins. Godbold with a good job defensively, cutting off the driving lane. Cole Aldrich, the freshman out of Minneapolis, into the ball game, number 45. Shot inside. Jackson, he now has 8.
And that was over a former AAU teammate, Taylor Griffith. They played together in Oklahoma City many, many times. They challenge everything, Ron.
On the run, Leary too hard, rebounded by Jackson. Outlet pass, and the Jayhawks run. Under 5 minutes to play. 31-16, Kansas. Collins. Longer, had the ball, lost it for a moment, and it comes up with Taylor Griffin. Godbold off the mark on that one. He already has a couple of threes, and he is a streaky kind of shooter. When he starts hot, he can maintain that. Godbold grabs the rebound. Oklahoma now 2 of 9 from beyond the arc.
Keep this in mind. The reason Kansas is getting no fast break points is nobody from Oklahoma is going to the offensive glass. So everything must come off the half court.
Longer hit the bottom of the glass. He got forced so far underneath. Collins at the other end.
He's like the punt returner. He'll fumble a couple, but he'll run more back.
It really creates excitement. Look at this crowd. Longer with an air ball. Darnell Jackson skips it across. Collins puts it on the floor, and then Leary very quickly on him.
See, they love to get these big guys from Oklahoma out on the floor and pick and roll. Keeps them away from the backboard.
Cole Aldrich comes out with a high screen. Collins. He's got 7. Timeout. 3:15 left until halftime. It's a 30-second timeout. 35-16. Jayhawks.
Kansas by 19. The one thing that makes them so deadly on the defensive end is they challenge everything. Watch Cole Aldridge hold his ground. There's the block. And now the Jayhawks are off to the races. And Sharon Collins, who missed 6 games early in the year with a fracture on his foot, gives Bill Self an extra dimension when it comes to speed and quickness.
Checks into the lineup, number 45, out of Winfield, Kansas. He is a sophomore for the Oklahoma Sooners.
The walk-on does not play very much.
Aldridge way outside, working against Longer, and a jump hook, and Longer hits it. Longer offensively now in double figures.
Bill Self doesn't mind that, Ron. As you said earlier, he'll use Aldridge to commit some fouls, but Longer much improved on the offensive end.
Cade Davis back into the lineup also, number 34 for the Sooners, the freshman out of Elk City. And Rod Stewart in the ball game for Kansas. Dished it off Aldridge.
How many times last year did we see when the shot clock goes down, Sharon Collins with the ability to break the defense down and get all the way to the rim?
Well, Roderick Stewart playing more earlier this year with the injury to Sharon Collins, not playing quite as much right now. But the transfer from Southern Cal brings energy. You always get 100% performance out of him, say the coaches. Off the leg of Cade Davis. KU basketball, and we'll take a timeout. 37-18. 1:55 left until halftime. We'll be there shortly. 37-18 is our score. Kevin Pritchard, Portland Trailblazers general manager, and a Kansas guard, 87 through 90. Played on that national championship team with Danny Manning in 1988.
The 1-3-1 zone now, different look.
Collins for 3. Brandon Rush with a bounce pass inside. It'll stay with the Jayhawks. 32 seconds on the shot clock. And Danny, we just talked about. Pretty good outing for him in that national championship game. What, 34 points? 31 and 18.
18 rebounds. Midwest Regional will go through Detroit again, just like it did in 1988. Kansas, if they have a #1 seed, would be Omaha, Detroit, in case you're thinking that far ahead. UCLA doesn't mind it either. It'll be Anaheim, Phoenix for them if they're the #1 seed.
Almost stolen by Godbold. Shot clock under 10. Rush.
I don't think Bill Self needs another talk with him anymore this season to be more aggressive.
11 points for him. Into that last timeout, Kansas with 4 blocks, 4 steals, and had forced 5 turnovers. And we're out rebounding 21-13. Longer. Taylor Griffin. Cade Davis, shot clock is at 5, and he got it. I'll tell you what, this guy, talk about no fear. He didn't play against Memphis or Gonzaga, did not play in a conference opener on Saturday. But it's simply because he's young and at that position. Tonight he's needed, and he showed that, you know, hey, I've got some game.
As you know, he started the first 2 games of the season.
Well, let's go back and look at that 1988 national championship. April the 4th, Kemper Arena, 1988. As we said, the Jayhawks a 6 seed. Danny Manning, 31 points, including 4 clutch free throws. In the closing seconds, pulled down 18 boards. Kansas won it 83-79. And the Jayhawks became the first unranked team and first team with double-digit losses to win the NCAA tournament. What makes this team almost as good? There's Chris Piper. Pipe had, what, 6 points, 8 rebounds, just reverse it.
Yep, garbage man that night. What makes this team good, Ron, if you think about this, last June, Brandon Rush and Darrell Arthur were seriously thinking about going to the NBA draft. Rush got hurt. Arthur was convinced to raise his stock, and so you've added 2 potential NBA players to a lineup that might not be here except for different circumstances.
Well, Kansas, no shot clock. We're now at 12 seconds.
Watch the lob here.
And an offensive foul is called. I think it's going to be, was it Brandon Rush? Yeah, going through in traffic underneath the basket. So Oklahoma gets it with 9.6 seconds left.
Remember, this Oklahoma team knocked off Arkansas, Gonzaga, and West Virginia in December. They were really making some progress.
Taylor Griffin. Tip, no good. We are at halftime. So as we head to halftime, Darnell Jackson, 8 points, 4 of 5 from the field, and 7 rebounds. He continues his improvement. And let's check in quickly with Holly Rowe. Holly.
Coach Capel, what went through your mind when you saw Blake Griffin go down?
Obviously, my first concern was hoping he was okay. Hoping it wasn't anything serious. It sounded like it was when I heard him and he was describing he won't play the rest of the game. We'll evaluate it later.
How does that change what you're able to do now offensively?
It changes a lot. And with Tony Crockett picking up 3 fouls, you see we've had to go to a walk-on and Bo Gerber. He gave us great minutes. Kay Davis did a good job for us. It changes a lot of stuff. As long as we keep fighting and competing, we'll be somewhat satisfied, not satisfied with the score, but we got to keep fighting and competing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Holly. So our score at halftime, 40-20, Kansas leads it. Now let's join Reese Davis, Digger Phelps, and Stacey Gale for the UPS halftime report.
All right, Ron, so as Jeff mentioned in the first half, obviously things have changed immensely for Oklahoma without the freshman Griffin, who's been the stalwart and the workhorse in their offense. But Digger, Kansas, as it has all season, still doing some things, particularly with its guards, extremely well.
They do 2 things very, very well. They play very aggressive on defense, and they force you to take bad shots, which means you're not getting second chance points. And without Blake Griffin in there, they really got some negatives, and that's how this game blew out, because he's their double-double guy, even though he's a freshman. But what I love about Kansas, they do 2 things. When they drive the floor, and you can see Mariel Chalmers here, when he gets the ball, he knows where to go. They collapse the defense. He kicks it out to Brandon Rush, who hits the big 3. Also, when they run the floor, they just know how to get up and down. They're not afraid to be explosive. They're physical. They're aggressive. They share the ball. And this is Collins who makes things happen as the other guard and that penetration. So I just really think that when you look at Kansas, you've got to play a half-court game. But, Stacey, when you lose a big player like that and you take bad shots, the other negatives show up.
Yeah, that's critical. I mean, you look at Oklahoma players in those highlights, they're all back on their heels, and that's a reflection of the other end of the floor. When you have 5 turnovers at untimely points during the course of the first half, and then you take some bad shots, you're only shooting about 27-28%. Suddenly, Kansas gets out and they run on you. But here's my big concern. I've never coached. You're the great coach, Digger. Richard, what would you tell your players? What would you tell your players at the half? You lose your best player. You lose the Big 12 Player of the Week, with Beasley, co-player of the week. What do you say to your guys?
Let's take a shower, start the bus. We're going home. I'm getting out of here because this is going to get ugly. No, when you look at what Oklahoma is, I think Jeff Capel has done a great job with this team. When they won at West Virginia, it opened my eyes, especially when you saw Blake Griffin get 18 points, 16 rebounds in that game. But when you look at how they get leadership, they just can't rely on longer getting the points when it goes through what they want to do with somebody inside. More importantly is right now, you're just going to slow it down, try to play a half-court game, but it's going to be tough to them to play the bench of... What are you looking at me like?
Because I'm just assuming that there were many times that you gave the old start the bus, we're out of here speech. I know everybody remembers the UCLA game. I don't know.
The players got to step up. Godbold's got to step up. I mean, you got a veteran player. He's got to corral the players at the half. You got to come back out with some energy and try to get some stops. I mean,
I probably need to corral you two about now. Still to come on the UPS halftime report. It's about time for us to start the bus and get on out of here. If you keep that up, Digger. Georgetown handed its first Big East loss. We'll tell you how it happened in a bit.
Report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
You have spoken. Who's the big man on campus so far this season? Nearly 37% saying it's Tyler Hansbrough of North Carolina.
Yeah, but it's only 7 o'clock in Los Angeles. They ain't getting no love yet.
Well, it's been people have access to the internet all day long.
What's that?
Midnight Eastern Time, Gonzaga and Pepperdine. Digger, if you're planning to stick around for that game and it's here, you can make a comment on it.
Let me tell you something. Watch the Zags. They went a 23-7 run to go up 40-30 against Loyola Marymount. Pepperdine are coming after you.
I wish I didn't even let you talk. What does that mean?
Zags are good.
Doing that?
The Zags are
Duke
good.
and Maryland, Brenda Free, she's about to deliver twins at some point. Crystal Langhorne delivers a pair for her. Langhorne had 16, and Marissa Coleman with the 3.
Yeah, she had a career high. Digger, do you want to jump in on this? She had a career high 30 points.
And Digger said quite enough in this halftime. Maryland over Duke, 85-70 is the final. Oh, we kid because we care, someone once said. Brandon Rush from the outside knocks it down. Kansas is up big.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Rob, you know Verizon Wireless still has lots of really great phones on sale. Got myself a Venus with a touchscreen.
The holidays aren't over yet, because some of the hottest LG phones are still on sale at Verizon Wireless. Now buy one music playing chocolate in your favorite color for $79.99 and get one free. Verizon Wireless.
Welcome back to ESPN College Basketball. Big Monday presented by Bud Light. KU leads at 40-20. We've talked about what an unselfish team this Jayhawk club is, so we went to the fans. Who do they like best? They couldn't even make up their mind.
My favorite player is Russell Robinson because we got these number 3s.
It's Darnell Jackson. Why? Because he's amazing. Have you seen his dunks? Sharon Collins, always at full speed ahead.
And he shoots threes lights out.
Darnell Jackson.
Mario Chalmers.
I like Mario.
Sharon Collins.
My favorite player is Sasha Khan.
Rush, baby. He's going to light it up.
Okay, so as you can see, the opinions are split. A lot of people voting for Rush. A lot of people for Sasha Khan, particularly the young man who put the beard on him. And a lot of people for Mario Chalmers. And Sharon Collins, the spark plug. And some votes for Russell Robinson as well. Talented lot.
One thing we've seen in the first half, Kansas has challenged every shot.
Darnell Jackson just picked up the foul as we take a look at the stat sheet. Blake Griffin out with an injured knee. Longer. 10 and 5 for him. Godbold with 6 points, 3 rebounds. And for Kansas, 11 Rush, Arthur and Darnell Jackson with 8 apiece. And Darnell with 7 rebounds. He continues to, at both ends of the floor, really do a nice job.
When you talk about all the McDonald's All-Americans on this roster, Darnell Jackson came to Kansas probably as lightly recruited as any of these players. He's really developed and become the heart and soul of this team.
So, gets them both. And that means down to an 18-point ball game.
Jump shot coming.
Arthur against Longer. Arthur a little bit short. Godbold, beg your pardon. Crocker comes down with the rebound. One of the things that Arthur has started doing, he loves that reverse rather than take it straight away to his right.
He's got a terrific turnaround jump shot. He's also trying to get Longer in foul trouble.
Longer left alone, puts it on the floor though, tries to get a little bit closer to the hoop. He reverses to turn around, and he's got an opportunity for a three-point play.
Very smooth, patient move. Jackson got him on the elbow. You see the improvement of Longar. Longar was not an offensive force until his junior season. See the little touch on the elbow, good concentration, makes the basket.
Sasha Khan comes in replacing Jackson, who picks up foul number 3. Team foul number 2 in the early going of this second half.
Ron, if you're Jeff Capel right now, you're shorthanded, and what you want from your team, just to play with heart. The outcome is not as big a deal until you can get it down around 10, but you don't want to get blown out early.
Blake Griffin, happy to report, is back on the bench, sitting with his knee encased in ice. Sasha Khan with the left hand.
We talked about the improvement of Jackson. Sasha Khan shooting over 70% this year, the senior from Tomsk, Russia.
Longer has it swiped by Chalmers. Godbold knocked it away, and it came right back to KU. Bounce pass, rush, three-pointer. Khan got away with an over-the-back on that rebound. Godbold goes down hard at the other end, gets it out to Robinson. Sasha Khan is called for the foul on this trip, but that's going to be his second.
Take a look at this move by Sasha Khan. We talked about the improvement of Jackson and Khan, the two seniors working with Danny Manning. Just a little step through in the use of the offhand. An easy 2.
Sasha's mom looking on tonight. Olga is her first name.
How many balls does Chalmers get on?
Boy. Well, Crocker with a little push off there. Reaction from the crowd, but this thing has been so physical that nobody is being favored that we've been able to see.
A rare fast break, Ron, because one of the things Oklahoma has done tonight, they've sent very few people to the offensive glass, instead trying to get 4 or 5 back and build that half-court defense.
Even before Blake Griffin was injured early in the ballgame, Jeff told us at the shoot-around today that was going to be part of the strategy. They simply could not afford to have too many people inside and allow KU to get that fast break going.
You send 2 or 3 to the glass, that means you've only got 2 back, and that gives Kansas some open court opportunities.
Chalmers. KU is now 12 of 12 from the free throw line.
And that's not bad for a team that does not shoot a high percentage.
They're in the 60s.
Yep. And in the low 50s in the last 5 minutes of a game.
Alley-oop. Austin Johnson. That's a nice save to get it back to Crocker. Crocker drives the lane. Can't get it to go, and Arthur rebounds. KU with numbers. Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers. That's interesting, Ron. Mario Chalmers, with all the things he does, he shoots 65% inside the arc. Very efficient offensive scorer.
You see Longer looking over at the bench to his head coach saying, my fault, I just lost concentration.
Very, very underrated backcourt. We know how good they are defensively. And with all the depth on this team, Mario Chalmers, the one guy that may be the complete player.
Chalmers sneaks it through. Here comes Crocker as Oklahoma tries to push it now. Blocked by Khan. Rush for 3. They are standing 26-point lead.
Steak, bacon, and egg breakfast burrito, huh?
Yeah, with steak and bacon on there? That's both real good meats.
That is great stuff.
If you had to pick one, what would you pick, steak or bacon?
Oh, it was my favorite?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. It's like comparing apples to oranges.
That's not really not hard at all. Oranges using a little more tang
Steak. I like steak better.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just cut that off. I don't feel like listening to that.
Steak, bacon, and egg burrito. New at Sonic. Marinated steak, bacon, smoky cheddar, and eggs wrapped to go. And don't forget, Sonic offers a full menu all day starting at 6 a.m.
So we are back. 16:32 left to play in our ballgame. 51-25. Kansas on top. Scott Van Pelt, well recognized in attendance here tonight. Also Neil Everett from our new center, Cruz.
Sean Salisbury in the building somewhere.
Yeah.
They make that annual trip,
that's
don't
right.
they?
Yeah. Sean had said he had never seen a game here, and he was really anxious to watch some of the color and excitement, pageantry. Never heard the Rock Chalk Jayhawk. But he'll hear it tonight as we come down the stretch with this 26-point lead by KU. Griffin left alone, in and out, rebounded by Rush.
Sasha Khan did a great job of double teaming the pick and roll and then getting back to contest Taylor Griffin's shot. See how much they have longer out on the floor, Ron.
Arthur not there. Godboll comes down with a rebound.
Spin move.
Double on him, and the ball tipped and almost stolen by Chalmers. I'll tell you, he is a burglar now. I mean, he will come up with a theft at the drop of a hat. As we head to break. Well-known face around here, George Brett, formerly of the Royals, of course. I guess always for the Royals.
Worst part about shaving for me? Razor drag. Edge? No razor drag. Extra moisturizers and lubricants. Razors glide effortlessly across my bare skin. So smooth. Just gliding. No hang-ups. It makes shaving feel so good. Makes shaving feel so right. Edge. Get some.
.26-point KU lead, and right now Holly Rowe is with a Hall of Famer.
Guys, I don't know if I can interview him. I watched him when I was growing up as a little girl. I'm kind of flustered right now, but this is George Brett, obviously famous Kansas City Royal. And what brings you here to a basketball game at KU?
Well, I live about 30 miles from here. I married a gal that went here, and living in Kansas City, you got to be a KU fan. So not only did they have a great football season, but they're off to a great start in basketball.
You've been on some teams with outstanding talent. How would you rate this talented group?
Very, very good. They're undefeated so far, and I've had the opportunity or the pleasure to play golf with Bill Self a couple of times, and I know that he stresses teamwork, and the team always comes before the individual, and you watch these guys play, and that's what you see, and I think that's why they're going to have a great run this year.
When I used to watch you play, you were always so hard-nosed and outspoken, you know, kind of a leader with your group. This is a big, talented bunch of guys, but they still have that hard-nosed work ethic. Have you noticed that about this group?
Well, I've seen about 3 games on television. This is the first one I've been to this year, and usually come to about 4 or 5 games a year. But yeah, I mean, all his teams seem to work hard and play for the names on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. And I think that's why he's had such a great career here, and I think that's why he's able to recruit so many good players from around the country.
Couldn't fail to ask you about what you think about the headlines that are going on in baseball right now.
It's a little frustrating. You know, you play 20 years and you play for it. You play the game because you really love it, and you know, it's just frustrating right now with all the headlines, not about performance, but about how they get that performance. So, time will tell. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple weeks, and hopefully baseball will clean up the mess that's been put on their plate.
You had some outstanding hitting in your career, a 3,000 hit club. How do you think your numbers stand up today?
Well, the power numbers aren't very good.
Well, we know why a little bit, right?
But the longevity numbers are fine. I'm very happy with what I accomplished.
All right, well, thanks so much and enjoy the game. Thanks for letting me bug you.
You got it.
Okay, Holly, thanks. A lot of admirers, not just in this state, but all over, because you knew what kind of effort you were going to get every time he walked out on the field of play.
I still remember him running out of that dugout. And you talk about a fiery competitor, the infamous Pine Tar game.
Yeah. Taylor Griffin knocks down the free throw. Aldridge is going to come into the lineup, and Arthur will get a breather. Arthur with a turnaround jumper. Also, Omar Leary, while we were doing the interview with George Brett, nice three-pointer by him deep in the left corner. And just as Fran says, I mean, this ball game at 53-29, You know, back to 23 points, but with the talent that KU has, it's just simply a thing of what the head coach is looking for. He wants to see effort, desire, and who really wants to play. And that's going to be hands called on number 5, Tony Crocker. That's his 4th. And a week of impact continues tomorrow with college basketball. A doubleheader on ESPN. First off, at 7 o'clock Eastern, Ohio State against Michigan State, number 11 in the nation. Kentucky will take on Mississippi State, the SEC at 9 Eastern. Super Tuesday presented by KFC.
But Patrick Patterson was a beast on Saturday, Ron. Hey, Billy Gillespie's undefeated in the SEC.
That's right.
That's a good thing for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Rush tried to use the impetus and also his own muscle as he headed toward the basket. Shot a little bit hard.
And you talk about getting effort. As Crocker picks up his 4th foul, Bill Self has bigger fish to fry right now than just winning this ball game.
Aldridge from behind. Sasha Khan thought he was coming down with the rebound. And Steve Wellmer right underneath made the call. And it's going to be the first foul on Aldridge.
How'd you like to have a team where you have a McDonald's All-American in Cole Aldridge, who's really not in the main rotation yet?
Well, I mean, look at what Bill Self has on his plate. And the same thing I said on Saturday night when we were up in Nebraska. How fortunate Cole Aldridge is to have the 3 guys to work with every day in Kahn, in Arthur, and also in Jackson, and be coached by a Hall of Famer in Danny Manning.
You're right. It takes me back to Russell Robinson's freshman year when he had guys like Aaron Miles and Michael Lee to go up against every day.
The thing is, Cole is smart enough to understand that he can take advantage of that. Rush.
That knee looks fine. They have 15 NBA scouts here tonight. Ron, we've seen him through the 2 years plus play great defense. He's an excellent shooter. He's putting the ball on the floor more. Bill Self loves this aggressiveness.
Godbold. Cade Davis back in the lineup. Also a freshman with 34.
Good double team that time by Sasha Khan. Force Longo off the lane.
Shot clock is at 5. They're going to have to hurry. Taylor Griffin, 3-pointer, not there. Godbold tried for it, and it'll be Rush who will come away with it. A little gingerbread behind the back. About to go under 13 minutes to play in our game. Aldridge got the quick handoff in the pass from Sharon Collins, and he was fouled. Only 2 unbeatens left in the country because the opening game tonight on Big Monday, presented by Bud Light, it was Pitt. 3 unbeatens. Beg your pardon.
North Carolina, Memphis,
Georgetown.
Kansas. Yep.
Yeah.
Georgetown has gone down a couple times this year, and I'll tell you, UCLA, you got to put UCLA right in that mix because they have the 1 loss early to Texas. But if there are 4 great teams in the country right now, UCLA is in that mix. I happen to think that Kansas right now is the best team in the country because of their depth, balance, and experience.
Well, in this conference, when I look at what happened on Saturday, as Aldridge gets the second one, and I look at what Missouri did at home against a very good Texas team. I look at what K-State did on the road against Oklahoma, who was full strength. And also, I look at the Texas Aggies. I'm going to tell you something. I think the Big 12 could have an unlimited number of teams in the big dance this year.
When you look at the Big 12, of all the major conferences, they have the most wins against the ESPN USA Today Top 25 poll. They've got 8 wins versus the top 25 this season.
Sharon Collins. And Cade Davis comes down with the rebound. Long pass to Longer. Had the ball tipped, but he came back with it. Austin Johnson. Strong to the hoop. Couldn't get it to go. Stepping on the sideline, Cade Davis. So here's a wrap-up of the Big 12 on opening day.
Michael Beasley was a beast. That's his 6th double-double. Excuse me, the 6th time Michael Beasley has scored 30 or more in Big 12 play. You know the only guy to have more 30-point games than Michael Beasley in the Big 12?
No.
Kevin Durant. Just one away from 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just want to keep you on your toes.
I mean, heck, it was a year ago. Jackson almost put up an air ball, and KU touched it last. So let's take a timeout. 11:50 remaining. 57-30. KU.
Right on time, Sports Center 30 at 30 update. LaDainian Tomlinson expects to play on Sunday in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers, however, still questionable. Both of those players dealing with injured knees, suffered against the Colts yesterday in their victory in Indianapolis. Pittsburgh knocked off Georgetown by 9. Big DeJuan Blair working inside. Ronald Ramon had 18 points. Sports Center coming up after the game. You can stay current with ESPN News.
Okay, Reese, thanks so much. 57-30 our score with just under 12 minutes to play. And again, we mention that in case you joined us late, Blake Griffin, the outstanding freshman center for Oklahoma, injured in the first, I guess, 4 minutes of the game. It is not an ACL, but they're afraid that he has sprained his knee, and they're not going to take any chances, unable to really walk right now. They'll take him home and get a further evaluation tomorrow.
It's a long season, and Jeff Capel obviously doing the right thing. One of the most highly decorated Oklahoma Sooner recruits.
Longer tried for the jam, and Aldrich was right there. I was selfishly, I wanted to see him against Arthur inside, because even though he is only a freshman, he has really got a lot of game for such a young kid.
You made a great point. I don't think you made it on the air, that the wind came out of the sails of all the fans here when he got hurt. And there's a look at my all Big 12 team so far. Of course, well, excuse me, all freshmen Big 12. And you know what? These are some good players, but I'll tell you, a couple of guys that really stood out to me, Ron. John Roberson at Texas Tech, and Craig Brackens up at Iowa State, and Darius Dunn at Baylor is off to a really good start as well.
The Bears have been not a surprise to the local folks, but they are smiling big there in Waco because of the job that Baylor is doing this year. Sharon now with 9.
Now you're just starting to see Sharon Collins round into form after missing 6 games in December with a stress fracture. I remember Ron talking to his high school coach, Anthony Longstreet, and he said Bill Self promised him he would not bring Sharon back too early. He was too important to the Jayhawks season. Young man from Crane High School in Chicago, and another steal by Russell Robinson.
A standing ovation here in the arena for him.
And we were talking today about Russell Robinson's freshman year when he had more turnovers and assists, and he was actually thinking of going home to New York. And his high school coach, Maurice Hicks, told him, if you're a man, you will stick it out and fight for playing time. How about the way his career is ending up?
Well, like I said, when you get down to a guy who is the heart and soul, and KU actually has 2 or 3 guys who could be in that category, but he's certainly at the top of the list, and it's got a very close second, Chalmers.
I think Chalmers is the most complete all-around player they have, because he does it with steals, he leads them in assists, second in scoring, and like we saw at USC, will take the critical shot.
Longer. That's Longer now with 15 points.
In the absence of Blake Griffin, he's gotten even more aggressive. See how they keep Longer away from the basket and get him in pick and rolls.
Jackson out high with the pick for Collins. Gets it right back to Jackson, and he's fouled. And Leary, who fouled him, may have injured his hand. Well, the week of impact continues on ESPN with an ACC doubleheader featuring 2 perennial powers. First at 7 o'clock Eastern, Duke, number 5 against Florida State. And then in the nightcap at 9, number 1, North Carolina against Georgia Tech. Wednesday Night Hoops presented by Staples on ESPN. Jackson misses. Well, Fran, how about the fantastic...
We talk about the 4 best teams in the country right now. I like UCLA number 2, Ron. Memphis, North Carolina. Talking to Roy Williams last Wednesday, he was very discouraged about his team's defense, and that all changed on Saturday with a stifling performance against the rivals from down the road, the NC State Wolfpack. I think Kansas has the best combination of balance, depth, and experience of the 4.
Well, one of the examples is the guy who just left the free throw line. Jackson, 11 points, 8 rebounds, and he's been almost double-double in every outing as the ball is kissed high, often to the glass by Crocker. Tony back in the ball game with 4 fouls. But as though they needed another super improved player inside, it gives them 3 with experience and 1 super rookie.
Watch this ball movement now. Everybody will touch it.
Jackson, that's the area that's become consistent as can be right there at the free throw line. And there's his mom.
Jackson playing with a very free mind right now.
Message goodbye, Longar. And let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
Well, Darnell Jackson is a great story. Before last season, his grandmother and mother were in a terrible car accident. His grandmother was killed, and his mom, Sean, was horribly injured. She's had to go through 10 surgeries since then. Darnell said, you know, I came back to school right after my grandma's funeral, and I never was allowed to properly mourn. Last year at Christmas time, he said, I had a mental breakdown. Coach was great about allowing him to go back home, kind of get his head together, and he said this year is the first summer he's been able to prepare for basketball with no worries about his family. He said he went 4 and 5 hours a day to Oklahoma City College. He said he worked at a Kansas City Pro-Am. He would play 5 games a day, and he said, I'm truly worry-free. I feel like I'm finding myself for the first time at Kansas. And I just spoke with his mom, Sean, and she said it's so great to see my kids all on track, all achieving their goals despite everything that happened to our family.
And Ron, you know these Kansas fans. They know everything about these players, and they've gone through that process with Darnell, and I think that's why they appreciate what he's done for them.
Chalmers way outside. But Jeff Capel got up and just shook his head like, we can't guard him much better any farther out. Longer knocks down a 2.
Well, you gotta love the way longer, right? Keeps improving.
Hey, 19 points for him tonight. Arthur.
Good no call.
Sharon Collins off the mark, but Arthur rebounds. Oh, alley-oop, Jackson. When he well, you see him banging his fist on the floor. He tweaked, what, a knee or an ankle on Saturday night?
Yes, he did.
And I think that's what he might have retweaked again. So judge for yourself. 7:20 left in this ball game, and watch the reaction by his mom after the alley-oop, and he goes down. We'll be right back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
Our score is 71-43. And a reminder, this week will definitely be a week of impact on the ESPN family of networks. A chance to see 10 of the top 16 teams in premier college action on Wednesday. You'll see top-ranked and undefeated North Carolina, and also on ESPN2, Coach Bob Knight takes on the Texas Aggies out of the South Plain in Lubbock. And Fran and I will be out there along with Holly Rowe to see if he can capture victory number 900 in his career.
And I think he could care less about 900. Just wants to get his team back on track against a very tough A&M team who they beat last year.
Most people don't realize
that's
they accomplished something nobody else did, particularly in this conference, and that is they beat them twice. Once in Lubbock and then went over to College Station in front of what is always a magnificently loud crowd, and it came away with a win with Jarius Jackson at the buzzer.
We got our tag along as well. We're bringing Bill Raftery out there.
That's right. How could I forget the governor with all the political things what's going on. The real governor is coming with us on Wednesday.
He saw a good one tonight, Pittsburgh, Georgetown.
Yeah. Russell Robinson comes back in. Chalmers will get a breather.
One of the things we talked about, the depth, Ron. Since Bill Self has been a head coach, he has loved to go to an 8-man rotation where he's got the four bigs inside, sometimes the 4 or 5 perimeter guys. Sometimes go to 9, but he keeps these guys fresh. You know, no starters playing more than 28 minutes a game right now.
You know, one other thing that Bill does that I think everybody in the coaching profession really appreciates. This club is so good, you got to be careful. You got to keep them grounded. And I think he does just that. Don't you agree?
I do agree. They play with so little ego, and Holly talked about how much they love playing together. Talk about 7 different leading scorers in the last 8 games. I don't think you can have any more balance than that.
Arthur.
Yep. I'll tell you, Ron, watching him last night run the floor like he did in practice was just absolutely breathtaking. Got a great touch inside. He's got a body that's going to fill out.
Longer against Arthur. A little shake and bake, and Arthur may have gotten a piece of that one. And Crocker.
So what's happening right now, Kansas is starting to leak out a little bit. Trying to create a little showtime.
Well, you see the students are still standing. And it doesn't matter if it's 73-47 and still 6 minutes to play. You know, many of them stood in line for the last couple of days to make sure they got in here to see this ball game. And unless you live in this part of the world or come to see them play, you don't realize how precious a ticket is to get in this famed old building, Allen Fieldhouse. Leary.
Yeah, Leary reminds me with that little left-handed push shot like Avery Johnson. JUCO All-American. Started a number of games early.
We've been talking about the depth of Kansas.
And you know who this reminds me of now? You think back to the last 2 seasons and the Florida Gators where they put 5 guys in double figures and everybody said, who's their go-to guy? You know, some nights it would be Noah, some nights it would be Horford, some nights Corey Brewer. Very similar situation right now. So those that think that Kansas can't win it without a go-to guy just want to think back over the last 2 seasons. I got to tell you, I love the way UCLA is playing right now. Kevin Love is really coming to his own. Darren Collison getting healthy. I know Ben Howland's team is a great defensive team.
(73-49), under 5.5 minutes to play. Wednesday night, we will be in Lubbock, Texas on ESPN2. 8:30 Central Time tip for Texas Tech playing host to Texas A&M. And let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
Guys, just to update people who maybe didn't see the first half, super sensational freshman Blake Griffin went down with a knee injury, left knee, and they're saying it's not his ACL likely at this point, but a sprained knee. Guys, he's very devastated, obviously, but Jeff Capel said he's just one of the most talented kids he's ever seen. He said he does stuff in practice I haven't seen in a long, long time, and this is a guy that played at Duke with some pretty good players. But kind of a fun story is he said that he was in my office one day, and I don't remember the exact day, but it was Game 7 of the Pistons-Cavs series last year, and he said, hey, Coach, I'm coming to OU, and he said, I asked him 3 times, what did you say? He just wanted to make sure he heard him correctly, and he said, I actually got up, looked around my office, I thought maybe I was on Punk'd. I was so excited that a kid of this caliber would come, and he's happy to have him.
Well, he was not punked. It was the truth. The other thing that Jeff said early, it's a wonderful thing when you have Jackson hits another jumper. It's a wonderful thing, Jeff Capel said, when you bring in a McDonald's All-American, the best player maybe that Oklahoma's ever signed, and when he comes in the door, he is already with the best work ethic of anybody you have on your team.
Well, he used to come and play with his older brother Taylor, and he really manhandled the Sooners back when he was a sophomore in high school. sophomore and junior in high school because of that great physique of 6'10", 240, and he jumps like a pogo stick, Ron. That's why I think the people who hadn't seen him this year didn't get a chance. And in fact, a lot of NBA scouts were here to see him as well. Arthur. Okay, he had 22 at Boston College, 20 earlier in the year.
Got 14 tonight.
Yep. I think NBA scouts have been very impressed with the development of Darrell Arthur. Very polished offensively.
Now the lane was left open. And 10 points now for Crocker. Shell will take a timeout. 3:33 left in our ball game. 77-51 Jayhawks.
All right, freight. Well, you already love the reliability of the big brown truck, but let's say you're shipping something really big, or pallets of lots of little things. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could send any size shipment with the reliability and tracking you're used to with UPS? Hey, look, now you can. It's not just freight, it's UPS freight. Throw some mud flaps on here.
And a reminder, this telecast is available on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. Well, coming up next on SportsCenter, let's go across the arena. And here's Holly Rowe. Holly.
Hey guys, I am with the SportsCenter guys. SportsCenter, of course, coming up next. What makes you guys take a night off of SportsCenter and come out to Lawrence, Kansas?
Well, we've got a buddy of ours who's a Kansas fan. My family's from Kansas originally. Kind of the birthplace of basketball, and if you're sports fans like Brock and I are, then you're going to come out here and come to a basketball game.
This is the third year I've seen you guys out here. What makes this such a special place?
I grew up in the ACC, so I've seen a lot of great venues, and we're a little bit partial in the ACC, growing up that way, thinking that that's the best basketball in the country. I'll tell anybody that's listening, this is as good as anywhere in the land, and I think it might just be the best venue in the country.
It's maybe the best team in the country.
They might be, but it's just there's nothing better. There are places that might be as good, but nothing's better than Fog Allen.
You guys get to see all the highlights every night. How would you rate Kansas right now and what they're doing?
I think they're the most complete team I've seen. Carolina's incredibly deep, but so are they. It just dawned on me a few minutes ago that Rush had been out of the game, and you almost don't even realize it because they have so many bigs and so many guards that they can rotate them in and out, and their star players are resting, and you don't even know it. I mean, to me, they're on the short list of the 4 best teams in the country. Obviously, their ranking tells you that.
And Jackson looks like a lottery pick tonight. He's unbelievable.
And to me, I think their defense really sets them apart right now. But let me ask you a quick question. What's coming up on SportsCenter? I know it's your night off, but what can we expect?
What's on SportsCenter tonight? Beats me. Not my problem.
But when it's happening is right now.
All right, safe bet, football, Patriots, NFL guys.
Okay, Holly, exactly what's on SportsCenter. Can somebody beat the Patriots? Fans are going to vote on that. Also, injuries hit the Lakers, and we'll talk about NFL draft coming up. Or they will on SportsCenter anyway, and that coming up in 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Hey, it's a good thing there's no nightlife in Lawrence, Kansas for those two guys. Yeah, right.
You may hear from a merchant or two.
Business will be booming tonight on Massachusetts Street, Ron.
Russell Robinson with a bounce pass to Case, and unlucky on the shot. Jeremy Case. Mentioned on Saturday night, his father Wynn.
Yep, teammate Bill Self at Oklahoma State, and the last guy recruited by Roy Williams. Now he signed with Bill Self, but it's interesting. He was recruited by Roy, and Bill still played with his dad. That was an easy get.
Russell Robinson, and behind the back pass to Stewart.
You know how many guys would have shot that basketball? He knows Rod Stewart works every day in practice, doesn't get a lot of glory.
Connor Tehan checks in, number 2. Also, Reed comes in. Tyrell Reed, a freshman out of Burlington, Kansas. And for Oklahoma into the ballgame,
Tony Naismith.
Yeah, Tony is going to
North Cross High School.
That's right, in Georgia. He is a true freshman as well. Who else came into the game? Oh, Bo Gerber came in, a walk-on. He's out of Winfield, Kansas. Are we missing anybody else? Make sure that everybody gets their due, because a lot of these young men don't get to play on a regular basis. Case with the drive, and or Davis, K. Davis, Bouncer too hard off the back iron.
Ron, if you're Oklahoma now, you've got to guard Connor Tehan because he scored 43 points in 45 minutes. The young man from Leawood, Kansas, right down the road. So you better shadow Connor Tehan right there.
Well, here he is. He goes inside with the bounce pass. Hits the big freshman. And guess what? Aldridge gets his 6th point of the evening. So Tehan gets an assist, and very unselfishly so.
11 of 17 from 3 this year for Connor Tehan. I asked Danny Manning, can he help this team in the future? He said his defense has got to get a little bit better.
A nice move there by Taylor Griffin. 85-55. Under 1 minute, as you can hear the chant, Rock Chalk Jayhawk going on in the background. Aldridge going to take another shot. The ball is tipped high, and Case comes away with it. Case for 3. Nope, not there. And Kate Davis will bring it down. Bounce pass inside, and I think Case touched it last for KU.
I think right now, Ron, in my mind, Kansas has 4 speed bumps left. They go to Missouri on Saturday, at K-State, at Texas A&M, and at Texas. This team has a chance to go undefeated in the regular season.
Larry blocked by Aldridge. 5 seconds down to 4. There will be no more shots taken here tonight. And 85-55. That will go in the books as the final. So again, the final score, Kansas 85 and Oklahoma 55. For more on this game, tune into ESPN News for a post-game extra. I'm Ron Franklin for Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe and our entire ESPN crew. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. KU, extremely impressive again tonight. They win it by 30. So long, everybody, from Lawrence, Kansas. Sports Center is next.
So I was doing 101. That's it. I was speed.
This is Sports Center.
Clearing the path to ultimate perfection, how the Chargers may be paving the way to Super Sunday for the Pats. Their Week 2 matchup was a blowout, but are the Packers super confident about beating the red-hot Big Blue? The divisional playoffs, y'all straight bananas. Now get ready for a real treat. The top 10 plays from the weekend. And the Lakers rocked by a major injury. Find out how LA will deal with the loss of a key player. It's on.
How about that? A little nylon out of Alabama.
Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthium, Sue Scott along the way. Something's happened to the Boston Celtics and KG. Could they actually get swept in a home-and-home against the Wizards? They lost in Washington over the weekend. Back at Nation Court tonight. And, oh, my goodness, Kendrick Perkins. Did he really go behind his back at center court? Look at Kendrick go 360 and the dish and the finish to Kevin Garnett. Garnett would lead Boston with 23 points. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Boston was up 7, and things appeared to be relatively under control. Tony Allen pierced the give and go. The truth at 18. Boston has a 68-59 lead. But the Wizards closed the game with a 25-6 run over the final 6.5. That's Antoine Jamison. He had 20. Jamison here, good for 2, make it 3. The Wizards are within 3 after a Celtic turnover. Deshaun Stevenson open for her. A 16-2 run at this point at 79 apiece. Boston, can they answer? Garnett, Celtics lead again, 81-79. Caron Butler took over this game down the stretch. Wow. Butler eventually gets that one to go. He made the free throw. They're up 1. Next possession, Butler playing some defense. They hound Pierce. He jumps out on Garnett, pressures Eddie House. This is not the shot that 4 assistant coaches drew up in the Celtic timeout. Back to Garnett. Butler would finish the game with 21. I mean, they need to do better than that right there, big time. Wizards are in control. Celtics going to foul Butler. Doesn't matter. You can't stop him. 8 ticks to go. Ray Allen
KG spins, takes it.
Garnett misses that one there.
No. Rebound underneath, fouled. Butler is immediately by Eddie House with 8 points.
Butler finished with 21. Jamison with 20. This is the last hope. Here's the Ray Allen three, and again, they needed to do better than that. Wizards closed with a 25-6 run over the final 6.5 minutes, and they beat Boston 88-83. They sweep a home-and-home with the Celtics, who have now lost 3 of 4.
Well, we said we didn't just get the key stops when we needed them. 2 3-point plays down the stretch, give up a 3. I give up a drive to Caron Butler, just straight rim drive. Those things hurt us, and usually that's where we're at our best. We look at these 2 games, just got to learn from them and move forward. This is good for us to just keep grinding, keep learning, figure out what we're doing wrong down the stretch of games and fix it.